welcome back to another video and a travel inspired video. Is that over the years since Gordon and I have been doing a small town travel, so many people have asked how do I select the small towns I visit. I did do a video on how I do road trips, and that also kind of incorporates the towns that we visit when we do a longer road trip in South Africa. So you can watch that video if you are looking to do a South African travel road trip, which is so much fun if you've traveled anywhere in any parts of South Africa. But let me tell you how I select the small towns we visit, and I hope this will inspire you to select a small town whenever you have a moment to just find the time to relax and enjoy a klein dorpie like I do. I've been visiting small towns since 2016, and that's when Gordon and I have made this like a whole travel thing. So we have a blog which I'm very much behind, and I apologize for that. And then only in late of 2018 2019 did we start the YouTube stuff, so there's a lot of towns that we were not able to document. So that is typically how we've done it. What I did was, because I live in the Western Cape, and the Western Cape has a lot of small towns that are so close by, like an hour away or 2 hours away, so I can just jump in my car and go. It's a lot more easier from that perspective if you live in different provinces, and sometimes you might live in an area that where the next town is like hours away. It's not that accessible. So for us it's a lot more easier because I reside in Cape Town, so I am a little bit lucky in that respect. But what I've done was, when I started the whole small town thing, was I have this old book and it says Pretty Little Things, but I mean that's not what you are looking for. I wrote down all 193 towns in the Western Cape, and essentially what I did was I grouped them based on different regions. So like the Cape Metropole, Central Karoo, West Coast, Cape Winelands, the Overberg, and the Eden region. So that's kind of how I grouped them, and I wrote all the names down that is in a particular region, and then I've highlighted them based on all the towns I've gone to. So in the beginning, when we started the road trips or doing these small town travels, it was so much easier for us to visit towns that are a lot more close by. It's a quick little hour drive and we can spend a weekend there. If we're thinking about like, oh, we want to go to the Eden region, for example, where it's like the Garden Route or Mossel Bay or Riversdale, like something like that, we might possibly would have to extend the stay. So like for example, it would be from a Thursday to a Sunday, because it is a lot further. It's not something that is close by like the Overberg region, for example. Even the West Coast is just an hour or so drive away from us. And so that's kind of how we more or less pick the towns. We're now in a situation where we've exhausted the towns that are close by to us, and what is left on this little list of ours is that it's towns that is a lot further. So like even the Eden region is a region where there's a lot of towns that we've not explored yet, just because they are so far. If we are doing a road trip, for example, and I explained in that video, it's a lot easier for us to visit those towns if it's en route based on our road trip itinerary. Then it's a lot easier for us to tick those towns off, particularly in the Western Cape. But majority of the time we try and find towns that are close by, but they are far and few in between. Now that we've done such a lot of klein dorpies, I actually don't know what the number is. I did take stock of it at some point, and then I stopped counting because I was like, this doesn't make sense, and it kind of diminishes the experience in general. But often what we do is, one thing a lot of us like to do is we go to coastal towns in spring and summer, and then the Karoo towns or like inland we go in autumn and winter, because it's just easier that way, or it's how our mindsets are structured. But I did a coastal town last year in winter, and it was amazing because there were no crowds. Like it was just Gordon and I exploring with sun in all its glory, and I had the best time exploring a coastal town in winter, which is not normally what people do. Normally they do it in summer, but I was like, hey, let me experience a seaside town in winter, and that was super cool. So like I said, they are getting harder now because we've already done most of the towns that is close to us. There is a town that I would really like to explore, which is Esterfontein. It is closer to us. I've yet to explore it, which is wild given that it's so close to us. For me, I want to explore towns that are not often talked about or really explored, in the sense of like people need to see it more. So for me, I want to bring awareness to towns like Goed Verwacht, for example, or Hopefield. People don't often talk about this, so those are towns that I typically want to explore and highlight. But I know that they are more popular towns like Paternoster. However, Paternoster is a very expensive town in terms of accommodation. You hardly find any accommodation below 1,000 rand per night because it's such a touristy popular destination. I try to steer away from those type of towns and go to more really smaller, home feel charming towns that I feel need a lot more exposure. And then I know a lot of people choose getaways based on like your travel experience. So you might want to choose a town that is very foodie based, where you can go and explore and eat out majority of the time. Some people like the nature aspect of it, so you typically would choose a town based on your travel experience. For Court and I, our travel experience differ from time to time. We're not really the best hiking people, so we do love nature. However, we won't hike, for example. Or there are people that really love history, and so you do find like history on specific towns, but they're not very prominent. But again, you choose towns based on your travel preference. For me, I don't have a dominant preference. We just go because we want to show you guys more about the travel towns that they are. But yeah, that's pretty much how I select the klein dorpies that we explore. It's not deep, it's just that we've now covered majority of them close by. And I have this a little book that where I can highlight and say, okay, we've already gone there. There are towns that I do go to more than once. So like I've been to Prince Albert more than once, Stanford, Porterville I've been to twice, Jacobs Bay I've been to twice, and it's nice to see how the then and now, how they've developed. So for example, when we went to Jacobs Bay, which was our first town we explored back in the day, there was only one restaurant, and when we went there last year there were like 4 restaurants now. So you can see how the towns have grown and developed, and there's nothing wrong with going to a town twice. I typically don't like going to a town twice, but it's nice to see the growth that the towns are now in. So yeah, it's not deep, it's not anything elaborate or a lot of thought that goes into it. It's more just now we're in a place where they are now getting a little bit harder. So like there's a town that I definitely want to go to, but I can't go to it in autumn and winter because I think it's a gravel road, and so I'm unsure about it. But I've asked Courtney if we can go to it. It is a 4.5 hour drive from where we reside, so I would love to visit the town. I don't think the town is talked about enough, and it's in the central Karoo, so that should give you some sort of hint as to that town I would love to explore. But you have to think about things like that also. If you've got like a smaller car and you don't want to be on gravel, something to think about. Wuppertal had a massive fire, and I think they also had a flood where the road leading to Wuppertal was an issue. So those are some of the things. If you have any comments or anything that you want me to elaborate more about the small towns I explore, I'm always eager to hear what you want to learn more about our travel. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel because I would love to have you here, and I'll see you in the next travel inspired video. Bye.